I've been living in Columbus, Ohio since my college days. I went to Ohio State. And I'm a stay-at-home dad right now. My 2-year-old daughter, Skylar Constance. Come on, that's why. Let me fix your hair, okay? Just love her so much. And my other daughters, Mackenzie and Morgan. When we were younger, we spent a lot of time together. Being a father is the greatest thing in the world. It far outweighs any fight or any wrestling match that I've ever won. I'm Mark the Hammer Coleman, AKA Godfather of Ground and Pound, first ever UFC heavyweight champion, and the first ever PRIDE Grand Prix champion.
Welcome to the most exciting, the most provocative, the most brutal martial arts competition that there is.
I had watched the very first UFC shows.
This is basically a single elimination tournament. No biting, no eye gouging. All other blows are legal, including knees, elbows, and joint locks.
I was overwhelmed and amazed at what I saw. UFC was the coolest sport I had ever seen in my life, and I wanted in. I was doing amateur wrestling, training for the Olympics. I was approached by the manager. He had a spot in UFC 10, and he was looking to see if I was interested. 30 days later, I walked into the cage.
Mark Coleman!
And my first fight was against Morty Horenstein, a karate world champion. There was a little bit of fear involved, but you got to be able to control that fear and overcome that, which I did. I blasted him with a double leg and started raining down punches and headbutts on him, and it was a relatively short fight, 2 minutes. Got the first fight over. My confidence was sky high. And then my second fight was against Gary Big Daddy Goodrich.
Let's get it on!
He was a big, strong street fighter. He was a strong, strong man. But again, he didn't have no wrestling skill. He grabbed the top of the cage with both hands for about a good 5-6 minutes. I uppercutted him probably 20, 30 times before he turned and faced me. And then I took him back down, and Big Daddy had had enough at that point and tapped out. After that fight, I had Don the Predator Fry. I love the 8-man tournament style. As a wrestler, we used to wrestle 5 times in one day sometimes, so you definitely had to use a little strategy and protect yourself, save a little bit for the finals.
This is our last and final championship bout of the evening.
I was bigger, stronger wrestler, was able to take him down pretty easy, and I got down Fry with quite a few punches, quite a few elbows, and at about the 11-minute mark, John McCarthy stepped in and pulled me off. I was exhausted, but it was one of the most amazing feelings I had ever had.
Mark Coleman with UFC 10 in Birmingham, Alabama.
I felt like I was on top of the world. They immediately slotted me for UFC 11. My first opponent was Julian Sanchez.
He's an advanced level practitioner in the art of ASACs. 300 pounds, Julian Sanchez.
Here we go. Let's see what Coleman's tactic is.
A very, very short fight. Easy double leg.
Shoots it down, goes Sanchez.
Took him down, and again, just started pounding on him until he quit.
He's gonna go for a choke right here.
Coleman tried it. There's the tap out. That's it.
The second fight of the night, I fought Brian Johnston. Again, just could not stop the takedown. I used the headbutts extensively, pounded on him until he tapped.
That is all.
So after I won UFC 11, they decided to create a heavyweight division. First ever UFC heavyweight champion was on the line, and it was against Dan the Beast Severn. Very solid opponent, so a big matchup. I felt like I could do more damage without the gloves on and use the bare fist. and he gave me a side headlock choke. It was there. Every bit of energy I had, I was using. Try to choke him out, rip his head off, whichever one came first. He fought it for over a minute.
We're working. Get the fingers out of the face. Get it up, get it up, get it up.
And then euphoria. I was overwhelmed with happiness, joy, excitement. I became the first ever UFC heavyweight champion. Quite an honor, about as cool as it gets. So after the Dan Severn fight, I'm the champion, and I was getting a lot of attention, a lot of fanfare. I really let it go to my head. I became way too overconfident. I took Maurice Smith lightly. I didn't think I was going to need 5 minutes to beat him. And next thing you know, we go the whole distance, 21 minutes, and much respect for the kick at that point now. It was some serious, serious pain.
And new UFC heavyweight champion of the world, Maurice Smith!
Congratulations, Maurice Smith. Yeah, he had taught me one hell of a lesson. And then Pride offered me to have a spot in the PRIDE Grand Prix. Got to win 3 fights in one night. Well, I had Igor Vovchanchyn in the finals.
Here he comes. There's the shoot. We knew it would happen. And he drives in.
I got him stuck in a corner. I started blasting him with 16 knees to the head. So finally, he tapped out. It was simply overwhelming. I went from the top to the bottom, and now I'm back on top of the world again. I won the whole thing. After I became the champion in Pride, my next fight was Antonio Rodrigo Nogueira. I did get him to the ground. That's when I really felt some amazing jiu-jitsu stuff going on.
There it is.
He took me to school, slapped an armbar on me. I tried to pull out the back door, which ain't the best answer. He quickly switched to a triangle choke, and my arm's gonna break or I got a tab. And there's no reason to let your arm break. Give him credit, he whooped my butt. He's one of the best ever, and he's a Hall of Famer. After the Nogueira fight, I fought Fedor, and I fought a few other times, and eventually Pride came to America, and I was the main event versus Fedor again. Most people knew in Japan how close and how tight I was with my 2 daughters, and Pride wanted to bring them to the show. My kids were still very young, and I thought this would be a good chance for them to come and get to see, you know, what their daddy does do. Fedor, he lumped me up pretty good.
He's a lot of trouble now.
And there's my 2 daughters in the ring. They didn't know what to do.
Come here, baby. I'm okay. Daddy's okay, baby. Daddy's okay, baby. Come on, I'm okay.
Instincts took over. I had to turn into a daddy from a fighter real quick because they were pretty shook up. And I tried to comfort them as best I could. I felt horrible about it, but I didn't know they were going to throw my kids in the ring after that. After the Fedor fight, the UFC bought Pride, and they decided they're going to put me into the UFC Hall of Fame. Wow, what an honor.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we pay tribute to his own Mark the Hammer Coleman.
My daughters, Mackenzie and Morgan, they got to walk in to the cage with me when I did get inducted into the Hall of Fame. And it was just so nice to have them with me because they were such a huge part of my life.
Thank everybody. Thank you so much. This is amazing.
His beautiful daughters, McKenzie and Morgan inside the octagon as Mark Coleman is inducted into the UFC Hall of Fame.
My last fight of my career was against Randy Couture in Las Vegas. I was confident leading up to the fight, but as he comes walking into the cage, I'm not kidding you, my knees got a little bit wobbly at that point, and I couldn't pull the trigger, and Randy Couture did. And one of my most disappointing fights ever. Give him all the credit, he whooped me, but I certainly planned on fighting again after that, but my hip was pretty much shot. And my doctor informed me I need surgery, and basically that meant my career was over. It's a little bit bitter to end it on that note, but when I was a little kid, all my heroes and all my idols that I looked up to, they were all walking a little bit crooked. I planned on walking a little crooked myself, because if you did all that, wrestling, MMA, 40 years worth, if you're not walking crooked and you're not all banged up, you probably got your ass whooped most of the time. Let's go, let me get the door for you, ladies. Here we go. My oldest daughter, Mackenzie, she's 19, graduated from high school last year. She's going to college right now. Best sushi place in Columbus. My middle daughter, Morgan, is 17. She's a senior in high school, doing quite well. They live with their mom. Thank you very much for coming. It means a lot to me.
No problem. We're happy to be here with you.
Thank you. Divorces are ugly. It did create some separation between me and my kids. I've made my mistakes as a father, but you just gotta correct them. I just really hope that we can bring it back together and close the gap. When did old Fedor whoop my ass? Let's see, both times.
I think it was like 10 or 11 years ago.
I think I traumatized you two.
You didn't traumatize us. You didn't even know we were coming in. I think I was asleep during the fight. What I remember most is the hotel and the pool.
It's been real hard on me because, you know, I love him so much. I'll always love him.
I just remember after your fights, you would come home and just eat all night because you were like dieting for so long. I would wake up in the middle of the night and you would just still be eating.
You train hard, you fight, that was the reward you get for getting in that cage or getting in that ring. I miss it and I wish I could do it again.
We're proud of you, of what you accomplished.
Are you?
Very.
Thank you. I did it for you girls.
We're proud of everything you've done. Not many people can say their dad's done any of that. But I wrote a lot of essays about you in school.
It means a lot to me to hear that.
And everyone's saying, is your dad Mark Coleman?
I always have hope that we can be as close as we were before, because there's nothing greater than having children. When my two daughters were younger, we spent a lot of time together. Those are just great memories that I have, and I'm just so happy that we are closing our gap again. That would really, really make me happy. Okay.
Go.
I love you so much.
Love you too.
Have a good night.
Like when to turn it around, the octopus.
Octopus?
Go in the back. That was
There it is. There it
That's
is.
the whole one.
Right now I'm living with my girlfriend, Tina, who I'm so lucky to have her in my life. And we didn't plan it, but we had a little miracle named Skylar. I'm getting a little bit better at doing hair. Here, let's see if we can get this going here. I had some practice with my first two kids, but I'm getting better at doing that. Let me see, let me see. Oh, she's got a nice little playroom in there, and We play a lot. Who's this?
That's you.
Okay. Let's go. Get your hands up. We're gonna fight. She likes to eat, so it's constantly want some kind of snack.
What is that? You know? Water? What did you and Daddy do this morning?
Play in my room.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
Did you wrestle?
Mm-hmm.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
Who won?
Tina, she is my glue. She's helped me in more ways than I can ever explain. She's done everything for me. She's one heck of a cook.
Do you want to get the mozzarella cheese out?
Luckily, she's got my assistance, though, giving her little tips and advices on how to perfect these things. And I am joking about that. Tina has 3 kids of her own. Savannah, 21, her younger sister, Brianna, and then her youngest son, Brandon. He's got potential to be a great wrestler, and he brings over his friend, Ricky. We go downstairs, and we have a lot of fun. Bam, 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 bam. Relax, relax and breathe. Don't hold your breath. Relax. I want to really help turn those guys. They want to be champions, and I would like to be able to show them what it takes to be a champion. Move, move, move. Who knows? Maybe someday he'll become an MMA fighter.
Let's see. Top Chef. I'm the judge.
It's an A+. This is amazing. I've been a blessed man my whole life. I love Tina's kids. I love Skylar. I love Tina. I love you, Mackenzie. I love you, Morgan. Sometimes I've been a little too selfish. Sometimes you have to be selfish to be a champion. But now it's time to be more caring, be more giving, and just be happy.